All right, welcome to another episode of Homestead Shop Talk podcast with Al from Lumnah Anchors, Ben from Hollar Homestead, and myself, Jason from Sow the Land. And this is episode 48. In today's podcast, we're talking about our week, talking about projects that we've done and maybe that we're going to do next week. How's everyone doing?
Doing good, you?
Doing good. Just got over the sickness.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling too good for a few days. Maybe a good one day, actually. I hadn't felt that bad in a while, so.
That's no fun.
Yeah, it's no fun. Glad we avoided it. We haven't gone anywhere in weeks, and it's been kind of nice. Like, we haven't caught any fuzz from anything. Like, it's been kind of nice.
Yeah. So the grass is growing pretty good now. Let's talk about mowing lawns.
Actually, that's perfect.
Yeah, you guys have front yards?
Al's up there hacking out an existence out of the woods.
I know. I don't know why, but whenever I see grass long, it kind of gives me anxiety. Like I need to mow it.
Yep.
I blame it on living in the city all my life. where all the lawns are manicured.
Yep.
And then, like on a Saturday, my neighbor's mowing their lawn. I'm like, okay, it's a Saturday, mowing the lawn. Monday comes around, they're mowing the lawn again. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Wednesday, I'm like, three times. I'm like, are you trying to tell me something that I need to mow my lawn?
And I got a neighbor every single night they're out there mowing. They mow from like 5 o'clock until it's too dark every single night.
The same area, or they have like?
I mean, they got a pretty big yard, I guess. I mean, not as much as we have, but I don't know. He's got a brand new lawnmower. It's like a year old, so I think he just likes driving the lawnmower. That's got to be what it is.
Dude, you can make if you're newly retired and you have a little bit of land and that's your thing is mowing the lawn, like I get it. Like I understand, because you could literally sit there on a mower all day long and mow your lawn, and it's a job, right?
I was like you, Jason. Like, oh my gosh, my lawn's got to be perfect. And then I'm like, I'm trying to do it for grass. And it's still been bugging me. But this year I've been looking at it differently. I'm like, no, like this is food. Like Gina's like, we should like mow a nice area around the house. And I'm like, nah, this is all cow food. Like we're turning this into meat and milk. Like I don't want to mow it yet. And then my in-laws came over. I think they said something. I forget what they said. But I'm like, yeah, I think he was hinting I need to mow some of my lawn. But we don't have lawn. It's all pasture.
It's pasture. Yeah.
That's right.
I did mow the side of the road. But everything else, pasture this year.
Right. I know. Yeah, it's a different mindset. You gotta think differently.
It is.
It's not lawn.
It's not lawn. It's pasture. It's food.
Yes, it's food. There you go.
See, like that's where we're at with it. Is like this is pasture now, but there are people who like neighbors and various people who pull up and they think we're just like Skid Row over here. We haven't cut the grass. Like, what's up with these people? Look at how bad the yard looks. It's like, man, this is food. Like, I ain't about to go mow a couple days of cow food. Like, so that's been something that's weird is, because even though we're thinking this way, other people don't think that way. They just see tall, out of control grass, and I'm sure it gives them anxiety too.
But I'm looking at that tall, out of control grass going, what's in there? Like, oh, man, like, that's looking really good forage. Like, what else do I got? Like, how thick's that coming in? Like, I'm looking at it completely different this year.
Oh, yeah. I think over time I'll get there, but.
Yeah. You just need some more cows, and then you'll definitely look at it different. Because the cows can eat it pretty quick. It's like, man, like Ben was just saying, like, that's 2 or 3 days worth of cow feed right there. Like, if I mow that.
Yeah.
I gotta go buy a bale of hay a couple of times a week now.
That's so true. I remember when we first moved here, I put 30 meat chickens in our front yard in a chicken tractor, and I was moving around the front yard, and my neighbor comes to me. He's like, I remember one time we had some egg layers and I put them in the front yard in a coop, and The next day I woke up and they were gone. Somebody stole them. And as he was telling me this, he's like kind of pointing in a direction, like another neighbor's direction. He's like, I'm not sure who stole them, but and he's like pointing. He's like,
Man.
I'm just warning you. I'm just warning you. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's either desperation or, I mean, maybe they're in need. But man, that's kind of dirty, stealing someone's chickens out of their front yard.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was so funny. He was telling me this. So, what'd you get? Who wants to go first? What'd you get? Who got into exciting stuff?
I can go first. Actually, I'll just talk about what I did today first, since that kind of segues into what we were talking about. So today, like I've talked about it a little bit. Today, me and the boys got up at the crack of dawn, and we all grabbed our scythes and we went out and we mowed hay. There's been probably about a half an acre of grass that we've let go for, I don't know, a month, 2 months, something like that. There were spots where it was up to my chest. Like it was really tall, really thick. We call it the bottoms. It's down in the bottom of the property. We let that go. And then there's a space that's kind of up above the orchard that we let grow. And like, I won't even let the boys drive the golf cart through it. It's like, nope, this is hay. We're going to cut this. Like, so keep it nice. Well, we got out before the sun came up this morning. We've all got scythes. And so we went to town cutting. Really cool experience. People are going to ask, like, why don't you just get a piece of equipment to cut hay if you want to cut hay? And it's like I've said before, this is my Amish toolkit. I want to know how our forefathers did this. I want to know if I'm man enough to do it like our forefathers did it. And so doing it with a scythe, it's hard work, but it's not like the hardest thing I've ever done. So yeah, it took us from 6:30 until 9 o'clock to cut a half an acre, and it was 5 people. I use a European scythe, which that's the one that's it's hammered out. You peen the edge to work harden it, and then you use a stone to hone it. And they get so scary sharp, it's ridiculous. Like I've got a couple American scythes. They're a stamped blade. They're so thick and so heavy. You have to grind them to sharpen them. I mean, you can use a stone, but most of the time it's quicker just to go grind them. I don't care. Like I'm a knife maker. I can make stuff sharp. I cannot get that American scythe anywhere close to what that hammered edge European scythe can get to. And it's like a laser. When you get that European scythe sharp, it'll cut through stuff so fast you think you missed it until you see it just like fall over. Every time I go scything, it reminds me of like a samurai movie where they chop with the sword and then the whatever they chop falls apart like 2 seconds later. That's what it's like. You chop at a big clump of grass and 2 seconds later it falls over. So yeah, we cut all the grass today, and then I think our next chance of rain is like Thursday. So we're going to pick up all of our hay. We're going to let it dry for a couple days, pick it up probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday morning, depending on if it's dry or not. And we're just going to do the haystack thing. So we don't have a cow right now. We don't have any grazing animals, but I mean, you can use hay for anything. You can use it for mulch. I can use it for bedding. I can give it to the pigs. They'll eat it. But it's just an exercise that I have always wanted to learn how to do. And honestly, like, it's freaking cool. Like, how many people do you know that can say, yeah, we put up hay with a scythe? Like, that's cool. That's something I've always wanted to do. It's like a bucket list, like a homestead bucket list item. So yeah, we're trying our hand at hay making the old school way.
So you gonna stack it outside in a pile, or you gonna put it inside?
So I was thinking of using our stanchion because it's just sitting there, not doing anything. It's a roof. It's 8-9 feet tall, something like that. you're going to lose a little bit of hay that's on the outside of the pile. But, if you stack it right, then it's supposed to shed water, and you might lose, the outer couple inches. But I don't know. I was thinking about the stanchion. It's like, well, that's a roof. I could pile up hay in underneath, the stanchion, and that would keep a lot of the water off of it. I don't know. We'll see. Something I was reading is a haystack traditionally is 14 feet by 14 feet. So 14 feet round by 14 feet tall. That is a huge pile of hay. So I don't know if we have that much hay. Half an acre hay. We cut a lot of grass today. That was a lot of grass. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it by ear in a couple days.
I need to get me a scythe. I've been thinking about that.
Well, you're pretty close to my height. You want to borrow mine? Try it out. See if you like it.
Yeah, I might do a couple whacks and be like, okay, I'm just get my weed eater out.
I think what's weird is like with a weed eater, that's always been my jam, is like cleaning stuff up with a weed eater. You can get in with a weed eater in places you can't go with a scythe. But at the same time, if you're using a scythe, it doesn't obliterate it down to nothing. And so you can either pick it up or use it as a mulch or, what have you. Yeah. And so coming out here, I've had to change my mindset of, if it's green, it's food. And so anytime I go just, trim the garden, I make sure I rake all that stuff up and I feed it to the chickens or the pigs. And it's really, really changed my mindset on bushwhacking, I guess. Now, there are still things that I will go get the weed eater for. Like, I'm not real keen on clearing poison ivy with a scythe, even though I've done it before. But, cutting poison ivy with a scythe, that stuff gets all over the scythe. And next time you have to, hit it with the whetstone, you hold on to it as you're wetting it. And then you get all that stuff all over your hand. So that's kind of like, some places a weed eater is a little bit better, or even better, like turn the pigs loose, let them eat it. But there's a place for everything.
Plus, it's more quieter.
Yeah, that's something that's kind of cool. Is if I usually after dinner, if I don't scythe in the morning, then I go out after dinner when it starts cooling down, and I'll mow an area. I'll mow, here's an 1/8 of an acre square right here. I'm going to mow it. And so I'll do that. And it's really cool because like Meg can sit out there with the baby. We can sit and talk while I'm doing it. We can just hang out. It's quiet. It's peaceful. You can hear the birds. You can feel the breeze. Like it's got a cool vibe to it. Like the more I've done this, it's like, man, this is a cool little like side quest to get on. All right. So something else I did this week was I am absolutely sick of netting for animals, especially in the woods. Running pigs in the woods with netting is a nightmare, especially if they're clearing stuff, because they're constantly digging out saplings or there's down branches, and they constantly roll that stuff. They push it up against the fence. They defeat the fence. And I've got it set up to my to where it's hooked up to my my big fence, the fence that runs the property. And 9 times out of 10, if it's not hitting real good someplace, all I need to do is go out in the woods and walk their netting and figure out where they defeated the fence. Well, I have wanted to run pigs on 1 or 2 wires for a long time, and I just haven't done it yet. Well, now that we don't have a cow, I've got all of these fence posts. I've got fence posts and Energizer and all of the what's that stuff called? The poly twine. All of that stuff just sitting doing nothing now. So I went out in the woods and I set up a massive paddock for the our breeders that are out in the woods, and tried it out. That was last week. I got that all set up, and they did bust out because they've never seen just a single wire. They just walked right up to it, stuck their nose right under it and were about halfway under it before it hit them. And, that's the big fence. So once it finally did bite them, they were like, oh, man, don't mess with that string. And so I got them back in, and just sat and hung out with them and watched. And they finally figured it out. Now, I will say, the past 2 mornings I've gone out there to do feed, I've got one mama that she's getting close to farrowing. And this one, every time she gets close to farrowing, she is nuts. Like she just does crazy stuff. And every single morning I pull up, I haven't even got the feed off the golf cart yet. And she just plows right through the fence. She'll plow through the netting. She'll plow through the 2 wires. She doesn't care. And she'll get lit up and she doesn't care. And so I'll be standing there. I'll just be standing there watching her like, really? Like, come on. I will walk over and start putting the food in the bowl and she'll bust back through the fence to get to the feed. So it's just like, and the other 2 are fine. The other, Mo and the other mom are just like, yeah, no big deal. We'll be cool. But this one is just, please don't leave and go to the neighbors.
Yeah.
So other than that, I don't know if you've been dealing with the rain like we have, Al, but we've gotten a ton of rain. I think last week it rained, half the week?
Yeah, it was a lot.
We have not. We've actually been dry, which is abnormal for us lately.
Man, it's warm. We're almost to June. Like we're just about in summertime and we've had so much rain. It's like we're still in mud season. And I am so sick of the mud.
The ground is muddy and wet still. I mean, when's the last time it rained? It's been a couple of days, right?
I think it rained. What's today? Today's Monday, so it rained Saturday, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it rained Saturday night. Yeah, that's been hard.
We're still muddy from all the rain we had last year, the snow, and then all the rain we got this early spring. But for the last maybe 4 days, so I mean, it hasn't been that long. We haven't had any rain, but for us, I mean, lately, for the last year, it's like every other day we get rain, it seems like, and it's just torrential downpours. And what you guys are dealing with right now is what we dealt with all last year in the spring, early spring.
I mean, usually it does rain a lot in the spring. It just feels like we've had a lot more than we usually do. I don't know. I'd have to go back. I try to take a picture of our rain gauge every time we get a big rain. And I know the last couple rains we had, it was 4 inches over a couple days. It's like, man, that's a bunch of rain. Usually we get a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch there, not inches at a time. We had a storm on Thursday or Friday, I forget which day, and it was just sideways, just buckets of rain. It was like, come on, North Carolina, what are you doing? This is crazy.
Yeah, lightning too. I don't know if you had lightning where it had been, but
oh yeah, we had a fair bit of
sideways
lightning.
rain, some wind. Yeah, I thought, oh, for sure, my 2 sheep are gonna die tonight, but they're still alive.
They're still kicking.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So that about wraps up my my weekly update. Got some fun stuff, got some not so fun stuff. So,
baby's still sleeping.
Oh man,
good.
This baby's spoiling us. This is one of those. It's one of those babies that tricks you. You have a baby that's so easy, they trick you into wanting another one.
What? That's how it's done. Yeah,
it's funny.
How about you, Jason? What'd you get into this week?
Yeah, this week, like I said, I was sick for 2 or 3 days or so, and it sucked, but it made me take my. Let's see. I probably take a nap maybe twice a year. Like I'm always go, and maybe twice a year, literally twice a year. Like I probably had that random feeling of man, I feel tired. I feel either sick or I just feel tired. I was like, I think I need a nap, So this is one of those weeks. And I think there's everything going on with the sheep dying, and we had workshops going on, and just a lot going on. Finally caught up. But I'm still like my throat's still kind of coffee. But let's say I had to write it down. So I did some electrical work this week, which I never do electrical work. I put in 3 brand new outlets with a new switch at the panel, like a whole new run. At our big barn, and then today I did the little barn. I had 3 outlets in my brooder area, and I don't know what got into me, but I just finally got the nerve and the confidence to figure it out and do it, and it's working. The barn hasn't burned down yet, and it seemed to be doing fine.
Did you film it?
It wasn't too bad. What's that?
Did you film it?
I did film it.
Man,
I don't know how I'm gonna put that out.
Yeah, the commenters will pick you on the electrical, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how I'm gonna edit that, or I don't know where that's gonna fit in a video, but because it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I'm gonna put it in a video somehow. And I figure it's better just to film it than not film it. I feel in my experience. And it turned out good. I mean, I'm glad I did it. I mean, it was pretty easy, the whole idea, but it's just running the conduit. I was bending pipe, running it through there, making it look decent. Just came out good. So Al, I have a concrete question for you since you bought all that concrete stuff.
Okay.
So my brooder, where I have the baby chicks that we raise in, is a shed. It's a small area, I think maybe 12 by 12 inside, but it has a dirt floor. So I was thinking, and I've always been thinking this for a while now, but maybe concreting in that floor. But it's already, it's already there. So I'm trying to think, like, do I just frame it inside and pour concrete in?
So what's the building built on? Is it just posts buried?
Yeah, it's just 4x4 posts on the corners.
Yep. Just buried in the ground.
It's just buried in the ground, and then it has the vertical just slats going all the way around it.
I mean, a lot of people build pole barns that way, and they'll build their pole barn with the 4x4s in the ground, and then they pour the concrete right around everything after.
Right, but I was just thinking, I was picturing if I pour the concrete's just going to pour out from the sides.
Yep. Yeah, so I'd either frame it in. Yeah, because you probably have gaps in between your boards.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd frame it in with like 2x4s or 2x6s all the way around.
Little gaps, and the concrete's just going to come out of it, right?
You could I'd either frame it up with like 2x or something, or if you just put plastic around it, that might be enough too.
So yeah, I thought about that. Like, yeah, if you had like a plastic and you put that on the floor and then you put it up on the sides.
Yep.
And then you pour concrete in the plastic.
Yep.
On it.
And the good thing about putting the plastic under it too is, which is kind of weird, even if you have concrete down, you pour it on top of dirt, it'll still wick moisture through the concrete out of the ground. So if you put plastic down as a vapor barrier, you won't get moisture from the ground. So
would you just put the plastic on the dirt and then pour concrete on the plastic, and that's it?
Yeah, I put plastic on the dirt, and then, like you said, bring it up the sides and staple the sides. And then I'd snap a chalk line or something so you have a reference point, like a laser line all the way across, so you know how far to pour it up.
I see. Okay.
And then you might want to just make sure and brace your boards on the outside. Because I don't know if I don't know if they'd pop out. I don't know how secure they are or not.
Yeah, they might. I don't know. It's pretty heavy duty boards, but yeah, I see what you mean. I might have to bring in. Would you suggest I level the ground first?
Yeah, because it'll save you in concrete if you smooth it out.
Because it's kind of like dipped in the middle.
Just because it's cheaper to bring in sand than it is to bring in concrete. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Eventually, I think I will probably do that. I don't know when that'll be, but because it's it's a brooder, so it's like super dusty in there.
Yep.
And the dirt doesn't help, and it's just I think it'd be better if there was just all concreted in. What else? We did manage to move our sheep this week, which, you know, I put up the electric fence. That was a peace of mind I had. I was like, okay, you know, I got the fence up now, but now I have a total another I don't know. Now I'm worried about these sheep all the time now. Dying on me. Every morning I get up and I'm like, all right, are you guys still alive back there? And,
I wonder why.
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah, so now I'm all paranoid about them, but I mean, other than that, they've been really easy. Other than what happened, you know, I moved them, and it was a pretty easy move. I mean, they don't want anything to do with me. I try to bring treats to them, but they're kind of stuck up. They look at me like, oh, not like my pigs. You know, my pigs are like running to me.
The sheep just judge you.
Yeah, they're just looking at me like, whatever. I'm like, that doesn't work with us. It might work with your pigs, but not us. But they're nice. I mean, sheep, they're pretty nice to look at, you know? Like, they're just so calm and just eating and, like, making no sounds.
They look like they got a nice color to them. When I saw them on video, are they like kind of like a tannish color, or like an off-white kind of? Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, they're kind of off-white. Yeah, they're neat. I mean, they're fun to look at and stuff. But I don't know. Yeah, so we moved them, and I mean, they're not like cows. They're not eating a ton, you know. That's why I feel like I should be getting some steers or something. What I should be getting with our grass how it is right now. You know, we're supposed to be going to Iowa soon in maybe about a month from now. So if I'm going to get any more animals, it'll probably be after that.
Yep.
After we get
stockpile your grass farm.
Yeah, I haven't been mowing it.
Yep.
Like Ben's like, I just let it go and see, just to see what it does, you know, because I hadn't seen it this long ever. But it's growing. Things are growing, and it's pretty neat. But
last time I was over there, your grass looks really good.
Yeah, it's going good. I mean, the sheep don't eat the super tall grasses we have. I mean, they probably would if I left them in the spot long enough.
Yep.
But of course, they're going straight to the goods.
They want the ice cream and candy first.
Yeah, the ice cream grass. So, I mean, I don't know. But what else? Our greenhouse has been popping off. Rain's been doing a heck of a job planting this year, and man, compared to last year, everything's growing really good. It could be all this rain we have. It could be better soil that we brought in. But like we have so much cabbage growing that they're about to be all done right now. We're about to harvest all of it. Cabbage, just leafy greens type stuff, and you know, we haven't got no tomatoes yet, but those are growing too, which is cool. But yeah, we're about to get, you know, bombarded with greens here in a minute.
Yep.
And then it's just trying to keep up with what to do with it.
Could be running.
But, you know,
you're gonna have to do some canning, some freezing, run the freeze dryer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lorraine's been making what do you call it? Kimchi.
Yep.
Love kimchi.
Sauerkraut and stuff like that, which we're gonna have a ton of that, I imagine, here. But also feeding our animals too, you know, feeding those pigs. I think that was one of our goals. Those pigs are gonna be eating good.
Now you're doing a big pumpkin patch this year?
Probably not as big as last year, but we're gonna grow some for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's such a good feeling, being able to feed your animals out of the garden, and it's not taking food off your plate. It's extra. Like, it's such a good feeling. The past couple of years, we've grown stuff that, you know, I don't want to eat. We've grown like the Kukuzi gourds. I'll eat them, but they're not that great. But man, the pigs eat them like candy, and those plants produce so many of those gourds. I'll pick them every single day and go throw them to the pigs. They grow so fast. Like you'll see them, they'll be that big. You'll see them by the end of the day and they'll be like a foot long. And then you come out the next day and they're like 3 feet long and huge. It's like, that's such a good feeling.
I know. I just wish we could, I mean, I don't know how long the greens are going to last, you know? I feel like it's kind of all or nothing sometimes, where it's just, boom, they're all done all at once, and then it's like too hot. Then it's too hot. They don't taste as good or whatever. But
Just
do you put a shade
me.
cloth? Do you put a shade cloth on your high tunnel bin?
Nope. No, we I don't know. Nothing has gotten like burned looking in the greenhouse, so we haven't needed it. I asked my buddy Casey all sorts of questions about his high tunnels because I want to say he's got like, I don't know, 50 high tunnels on his property now. And I was like, do you do shade cloth? And I think the only thing he does shade cloth on is like his nursery. Everything else is just the plastic. So I was like, well, it's good enough for Casey. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that was pretty much my week. What's up, you, Al?
Let's see. Speaking of brooders, we got our chicks in the other day. And then, so we're using our new brooder.
Those are the ones that were late?
Yep, they were a week late, and they arrived. I was expecting them Thursday, and they ended up showing up Wednesday morning. So I plan on getting...
how many?
We got 75. That's what we ordered, and we ended up getting 78 Cornish crosses, and then they sent us a free. We're thinking it's probably a barred rock, but we're not sure yet. We're not sure if it's a rooster or a female. I'm assuming it's going to be a rooster, but so we got 79. We lost one so far. It's been, 5 days? So I think that's pretty good.
It's never that oddball free one that they send you that dies. It's always a meat bird.
It is. Yeah, and this one was squished. It was like it got pig piled on top of.
Oh, that's sad.
Yep. So it's our first time using this brooder. So it's a brooder for this time of the year, and then in the wintertime we'll use it for our winter chicken coop. And we got all tin walls on the inside, a tin ceiling. I think it's like 10 by 12, give or take. And I put 2 heat lights in there, and it keeps it warm. Concrete floor, which is nice. And it's, usually we had a small little 4x4 coop that was like, or not a coop, but a brooder that was like 2 feet tall. And that worked, but it was kind of just tight quarters and hard to get in and out of. And then I built another coop that was smaller. It was probably, say, 4 feet wide, and 10 feet long. And then I had to divide it up. But still, trying to get in there, you're ducking and stuff in tight quarters to have a big brooder. I'm like, this is nice. Like, you can get in there, you can move around. The chickens have more room.
That's what I need.
Concrete floor is nice. The first time having a concrete floor. I'm liking that. But it's keeping them warm. It's not insulated like the walls or anything, but when you walk in there, those 2 bulbs just from the heat lamps are keeping it nice and toasty inside. So,
yeah.
It was cool to see Brutus. That's where we put Brutus when we first got Brutus. He was a little puppy. He was in the barn. We're like, well, we'll put him in the chick coop. So that way, because it was like the end of winter. So it was still getting cold. Not super cold, but cold. But like, at least this way he can kind of stay in a confined area. So like he knows that as, hey, this is my spot. But he'll go in there. He hasn't bothered the chicks. Like, he'll go up, he'll sniff them, and like he'll watch them. He wants their chick feed. But all of our other dogs, like, they put the chicks in their mouth. Like, the first thing is they're like, and he hasn't yet, so that's cool.
Yeah.
He just watches them.
Chicken nugget.
Yep. You guys, no, Ben, you're still waiting for chicks because you're not doing yours till fall this year, like you did last year.
Yeah, we're gonna get on a rotation to where we'll do them twice a year. We did them. I think our first year here we did 2 or 3 batches, and we decided that if we can avoid butchering in summertime, we'll make that happen. Yep. We'll just do more in the fall. We've currently got layers that are almost ready to start staying out. I've got them in one of the chicken tractors. It's our new laying flock. I think it's 35 layers. something like that. We're going to cycle out all the old ladies this fall. And so we got a whole bunch of, we just got like your generic, we got Barred Rocks, Rhode Island Reds, oh gosh, Buff Orpingtons, some more Australorps, just your run of the mill, like normal chickens. And we've got all these, like, they call it the Easter egg basket or whatever, from McMurray's. And it's really like the prettiest egg baskets we've ever had. There's chocolate, there's green, there's white, there's brown, like every color you can imagine. But these chickens are psychos. I have never had such trouble with chickens. It's like, yeah, you lay pretty eggs, but you're nuts. These chickens are escape artists. They're crazy. Like, you go to check eggs and they just take off and fly right at your face. It's like, what is wrong with these chickens? So yeah, we're gonna cycle them out with some good normal chickens.
We're in the same boat as you. That's what we have. We have a bunch of egg layers that lay pretty eggs. They're pretty flighty, and they don't lay good in the wintertime. Nope. So we have a new batch of meat birds coming this week and a batch of egg layers. I'm trying to think what we got. We just got one standard breed that's supposed to be really hardy in the wintertime. I don't know if it's the red sex link or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, we just want a chill chicken that's going to lay good eggs all year round.
Yeah.
Actually, we kind of bought...
It is pretty right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'll miss the colored eggs, but we've got all these. These are like dual purpose birds. I know we used to have a Barred Rock that she was thick. She was a big old Barred Rock. And the bigger ones have a way higher like impact with their scratching. They're just a bigger bird. And so because I'm using my static coop for building compost, which that was something I did today or this weekend, was I got all the compost out of that coop and put it on the orchard. Having chickens like just shred wood chips and poop on them and get it to compost, like, man, I got to get some heavier birds. These little flighty birds just don't cut it. Literally.
Right.
Yeah. They're too dainty.
They are.
Yep.
The skinny birds, I don't like them skinny birds. They're too fast and too delicate.
They are too fast. If they get out, good luck. Like, that's when I start thinking I need a dog. I'll just, like, have a dog that loves chicken, and next time one of those birds gets out and I can't catch it, be like, get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
It's yours.
You can keep it.
That's your chicken nugget. So we put our Highland cattle out on pasture for the first time. But
were they excited?
Yeah, they loved it. They did really good. Like, it almost looks like they mowed the lawn. Like, we just did a small area, kept them there till it was pretty much gone. And there's a few areas that have like stalks that are like this that are a little bit thicker, but I'd say 90% of it's just nice and cut evenly.
Wow.
The way they eat reminds me more of a sheep, like grazing, and like they're not as fussy. Like, they'll pretty much take anything, versus like our Jersey cow. She's like, yeah, like, I'll take this one. I'm not eating that piece. Where they're just more, yeah, we'll eat it all kind of thing, which is cool.
I like that. After having a very picky Jersey, it's just like she'll mow some stuff to the dirt, but then leave other stuff because she's just picky. It would be kind of nice to have a cow that mows everything for you.
That's one of the reasons we wanted the Highlanders, and then we want to breed them next year to the Jersey and try to get that trait into the Jersey and see how that does. But the other thing I noticed is their feet, or their hoofs, I guess, to be technical, are different in the way they walk, and like the way their hoofs spread, it impacts the ground more, which I think will be for what our plans are for using them and turning more land into pasture. I think it's going to be beneficial. They're kind of more like a pick hoof. So I guess I'll take a video of it sometime. It's just interesting. It's like they're like, when you watch them walk, like their toes split. They're not like just like a little slit. Like, they actually split, and when they're walking, they like dig in, and you can see them kind of like, it's not like ripping up the ground, but they make more of an impact.
Kind of like a minimal tillage.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how the pastures that we have them out on right now do. Like, they're not harming the pasture, but if they're in an area that has no grass, it'll till it up a little bit. So we're going to be putting them out in the woods. I'm curious to see what that does and how that like breaks up the woods, like the leaves and everything, and how much better it'll, or if it'll work better for getting the woods to grow into pasture.
How many do you have doing that?
Right now we have 2.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. We put down that Redmond's Grow. I think that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And we got rain shortly after. I'm going to say we probably got around an inch. So I didn't know it was going to happen. But now we can see it's almost like, because it has chicken manure in it, it's almost like you had like a chicken tractor out there. You can see it really getting dark green. And then the areas that are bare with grass, you can see a bunch of sprouts starting to sprout up with new grass. So I'm like, man, I hope we don't get like any 4-inch rainstorms to wash all those little sprouts away, because I think this year will be a really good year for the pastures growing.
So when you, after an area that the cows have been, are you like seeding that area at all, or are you just letting it be?
The pasture, so right now they're on the pasture. We'll leave it be. When we get them in the woods in different spots, we'll put hay down and we'll seed it after, or use the hydroseeder kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh man, have you done a video about that yet?
No, it's coming out, so I'm not going to talk about it in the podcast next week. I will.
Oh my gosh,
it'll be out after the podcast.
All right. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That man, that's so cool. Every now and then I'll see someone make something that's freaking awesome, and it's like, yeah, that is pretty freaking awesome. I won't spoil it.
I figured it out. It already paid for itself.
Oh, I bet.
Kinda. Yeah,
man, you could rent out the services and go hydroseed for people. Like, man,
you could. Yeah, you could start a little side gig. I'm sure. I went back the next day to get some different hose, and the guy at the store was like, "Can I put a PO on the invoice?" I'm like, I just said hydroseeder, and he was like, "You building one?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You want to come do my lawn?" I'm like, I don't get it all fine tuned yet. I'm not doing anybody's lawn.
You need to come up with a step-by-step plan of how to build one.
Right. Yep.
Like everything involved.
Everything involved, all the parts and pieces.
Yeah, and sell it.
Yep, and sell it. And then today we got, we got quite a few pounds of freshly roasted coffee. We're doing another coffee release this week, so right now I'm smelling some coffee. It'll keep me awake probably for a little while. I think we're actually warmer than you guys today. We were like 80s. I don't know if you guys got warmer.
It was in the 80s. It was
in the 80s.
Yeah,
it warmed up.
82, 83, something like that. It was hot.
Yeah, it was 82 here before we started the podcast. It's like, wow. It's just crazy. My grass should love it. I'm hoping. Grow some more pasture, not to mow.
That's the bright side. Like, I hate the heat. I hate sweating to death. But at the same time, it's like you can't grow tomatoes without a little heat.
Right. And humidity. They love that for sure.
Yeah, like all this rain we had, man. All this grass is growing and all the food's growing. It does it good.
It does. And so we worked on Gina's mini truck last week. We talked about that a little bit. Well, I got an email today, and they're all mad because we got a mini truck.
Who's mad?
Who's mad?
We lost a viewer because we got a mini truck. I'd have to read the email, but they're all mad because we got the mini truck, and that's Jason's thing.
Oh no!
Yeah, like, but I'm still gonna listen and watch the podcast because of Jason and Ben. But I'm not watching your channel no more.
Wow, that's so funny.
That's one of those things. It's like, haven't you had that for a couple of years?
Yeah, we had it for over 2 years. It's been sitting for 2 years. Gina
had it longer than I had mine.
Yeah, so I just thought it was funny. I'm like, I just think it's so funny when people get like that. Like, so and so already did that. It's like, everybody does everything. Who cares who did it first, when they did it? It don't matter.
I know.
It don't matter. But they're like, but I'll still watch the podcast.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought it was even funnier. They sent like a contact form and they gave me their phone number.
You should have called them and responded.
Right. *69 or whatever it is, so they don't know your number.
Oh my god!
Prank call them.
That's great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some people that really don't like the mini trucks. Like they're really hateful on the mini trucks.
Are they?
Yeah, I don't hate the mini
Yeah.
trucks. I think they're kind of cool, but I don't know if I'd get one. The golf cart is about as small of a vehicle as I'm willing to drive right now.
Yeah.
How's the suspension in your golf cart? Because the suspension in the mini trucks are pretty rough.
What suspension?
So it's like a mini truck then.
Oh man.
How's your suspension, Jason? Do you have any suspension?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not bad. I don't know. I guess it's not great.
I've driven Jason's mini truck. It's way smoother. It's actually got a suspension compared to the golf cart. The golf cart will beat you half to death. And I've went through and I've replaced like all the struts, the shocks. About the only thing I can replace now is like leaf springs and stuff like that. But man, it'll beat you half to death if you are driving over real bumpy stuff.
That's how ours is. It's wicked stiff. I'm like, maybe I can cut it up and put like a side-by-side suspension or something under.
I thought about doing that.
I could raise mine. I feel like mine needs to be up higher a little bit.
Yep.
You haven't got it stuck yet, have you?
In the woods more. Actually, I did get it stuck one time. This was a few weeks ago because I've been driving in the woods more because I'm trying to avoid the grass and kind of drive along the fence line when I go up top of the property. And it's a trail, but there's spots where it's washed out, so it's like a big dip. And so the mini truck's so low that it like I hit a rock that was in the ground and it like boom, it's stuck in there and like one wheel was in the air. And so I just got out and I basically just rocked it and like it pushed it. I could push it. I pushed it and I was able to get it out, but yeah, I keep hitting these I have these like big dips that keep getting worse because of the rain and the mud.
Yep.
So I need to either fix those dips or raise up the mini truck.
I'd say raise up the mini truck. Ours, I've gotten under it and like the radiator, the base of the radiator is all dented. I'm surprised it's not leaking because somebody before in the past has hit it on stuff.
I have that big bumper I have in the front that I put. It's like a big old metal bumper. That's probably not helping. I think it weighs down the truck. but when I do hit a bump, that's the thing that hits first.
Yep.
So it kind of protects it too. Because it's like, boom, like it just hits that big old metal bumper. But it probably wouldn't hit it at all if it wasn't there. So I don't know.
Right. Now, did you put a rear bumper on yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it have a hitch on it, the bumper?
Yep.
Yeah, ours doesn't ours needs something. There's no bumper, no hitch.
Yeah. Hitch is nice.
Yep.
I love it. I love my mini truck.
They're fun.
I do think that I probably should get a golf cart though, also, just to have as a backup.
Yep. Have you
golf
seen
cart's
the new
cool, but don't buy someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Toyota pickup truck they've come out with? They won't sell it in the U.S. and I don't know why, but it's like a Helix mini truck, and supposedly it sells for like $10,000. It looks like a mini truck, but it's like supposed to be pretty rugged and heavy duty.
It's as little as a mini truck?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's as little. It's like the size of a Tacoma, maybe I'd say between Tacoma and a mini truck, but it's like the look of one. Square, boxy. It's got the bed of a mini truck.
Wow.
I watched a video about that truck. I don't know, a month and a half ago. You could probably find it on YouTube, but it explains why we can't get mini trucks in the United States. It's a pretty messed up. It's all politics. Like the Toyota Hilux is the most popular truck in the world, and they can't bring it to America because of all the stupid regulations and laws. The truck doesn't fit those little parameters, and so they can't bring it here. This mini truck, I forget what it's called. It's like a Hilux something, or I forget, but yeah, it doesn't meet that threshold of weight and size versus fuel economy.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, but they're like 10 grand brand new.
Yep.
It's like, how many
That's
people would
crazy.
buy them in the U.S.? I don't know if you can see that good, but that's kind of.
Yep. I'd buy
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I'd buy
That's
one.
cool.
You can get them with
10,000
diesel,
bucks.
like everything. And they're bare bones. Like, they don't make bare bones vehicles anymore.
That's what we need. Like, strip everything down and just have it be what it is. You know?
Right. I don't want all the fancy stuff. I
Yeah.
don't need all the electronics. Just give me a 4-wheel drive truck that runs good and you can beat on.
Right.
I think it's called the IMV3, whatever that stands for. But you can get them a bunch of different configurations. I'd say that's all we've been up to. That's all I've been up to for the week.
Yeah, we have more meat chickens coming this week and turkeys.
And turkeys. So I wonder who will get them first, because we got ours. We should be getting emails tonight, I bet you, saying they ship. That's when I got my email last week. It was a Monday night. What day do you normally get them? Is there a particular day of the week?
Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, that's how we are too.
I think they'll ship them. We might get an email tonight.
Yeah.
Either tonight or tomorrow, saying they're shipped.
Yeah. And that's for your June butchering class, or is that another batch?
No, that would be for July.
Okay, so are you doing a butchering class in June?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're doing another one in July?
July and August.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do one for turkeys?
I don't know.
How many turkeys you get?
Turkey's a different ball game. You get hurt doing turkeys.
I usually bungee cord the feet back, like up against the frame, just so we don't have to worry about getting a foot to the eye.
Yeah,
man,
you need to wear safety glasses.
Yeah, those things are like dinosaurs. They will cut you.
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting 20, so I don't know. I guess it really would depend on how many survive. We'll see, but we'll probably at least sell some. We did last year.
Makes it worth it, man. We're gonna have to do turkeys. I miss turkeys. I really had fun when we did turkeys. It's been 4 years since we did turkeys.
Yeah, turkeys are fun.
Yeah, we hadn't done them for a while. We got them coming this year. I don't remember when they're coming. I don't know if they're coming this week with our meat birds in layers, or if I got them later on.
Mm.
And what's the minimum quantity? 15, maybe 12 or 15.
Yeah, 15.
I think that's
maybe,
what I got. We ordered our stuff like back in January, so I'm kind of like, what did we get? When did we got them? When did we got them coming?
Yeah.
You end up forgetting.
That's what we did. Yeah. I never remember. I mean, Lorraine's good at writing stuff down because I'm not.
Right.
I got a random Post-it note, write it down, and like stick it somewhere, and next thing you know, I don't remember where it's at.
Yep. So we have 10 of them. The minimum order quantity now is 10 of the giant white turkeys, and we're getting ours shipped in June. So we still got like another June 10th. We'll get ours shipped. So we still have a little while before we get our turkeys.
I've been trying to figure out how to. I feel like I could do a better job at rotating my animals. Like I feel like they should have some kind of structure to it, like some kind of plan
for like moving them on pasture.
Yeah, like a schedule. No, yeah, I guess maybe like a schedule, like a plan of like where everyone's going. Because right now, I mean, pretty much the whole time, I'm just moving everybody. Like there's really no rhyme or reason. I'm just moving them, and I feel like I should do a better job of planning that. That's why I'm thinking that, like, when I get the turkeys, I think I might move them with the pigs.
Like behind the pigs? Or
I'm thinking before the pigs. Turkeys, and then keep so they could share the same netting.
Gotcha.
And then when the turkeys leave a spot, the pigs are the cleanup crew to the feed that they didn't eat.
It's a good idea.
And so that way they could still use the same netting, and they don't have to. It'll be less taking down nettings.
Makes sense.
As far as, I don't know if I'm going to raise them in a structure, the turkeys, especially if there's 20 of them, they're not going to all fit in this Skovich structure. So in that aspect, I'm not sure yet. It might be just a shade structure, but.
Yep. Well, you got your big perimeter fence.
Yeah.
So that should help. You'll be able to You should be able to see a little bit if you have any more. Have you had any neighbor dogs come in or attempt to come in since you had the fence?
I haven't noticed.
Haven't noticed. You'd hear them if they attempted to.
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't heard a big yelp or nothing.
No.
I did see my first wild turkey. So my fence is not wild turkey proof. It was right in the middle of the pasture, just one turkey. I was like,
turkey.
What is that? I had to get my binoculars out in my kitchen window. I was like, oh, that's a turkey. Pretty cool to see, though. I don't know where it went, I don't know how it got in, but it got in.
We've been seeing a lot of black bears lately. I don't know if they're why all of a sudden, but I've seen probably 4 different black bears in the last couple of days.
Do you feel like whenever you're walking around your property, do you feel like you gotta be carrying something for bears? Like,
No.
You don't feel scared or nothing like that?
Nah.
Have you ever
When you
eaten
see
black
one,
bear?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
It's not bad, but it's not my favorite. A little, I guess, greasy.
Yeah.
Have you ever had it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've got some friends that bear hunting is life. And so
Gotcha.
every now and then, if we eat dinner over there, they'll feed us bear. Yeah, it's kind of greasy, but I mean, that's my favorite kind of meat is greasy meat. I like greasy beef.
Yep.
I like greasy pork. I like it. I think it's tasty.
Do you guys
hold you off during Alaska winters for sure?
Right. Do you guys have a spring bear season, or you just have a fall season? Do you know?
Last I talked to them, they were bear hunting, so that was like a couple days ago. So I guess we have a spring bear season.
We don't. We only have winter. But everybody I've been talking to is like, yeah, well, they'll probably add a spring season soon because there's a lot more bear in the up here now. I don't know why, but so. We have some big ones. We were out working. Was it last? No, I don't think it was last summer. Maybe the summer before. We were having some of the old logging trails cleaned up, and there was a paw that was bigger than my head of a black bear. I've never actually no. We've gotten that one on camera, but I've never seen it in person. And it's probably, I'd say it's probably like 4 feet tall when it's walking. So
It's a big
back.
bear.
Yeah.
The bears around here are really small.
I've been seeing small ones lately, but so I don't know if they're last year's or if they're just smaller ones. I'll have to save the rest for next week.
Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing about that project.
Right on. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you everyone for listening and watching, and hope everyone has an awesome week, and we'll see you back here next Friday on the Homestead Shop Talk podcast. Thanks, guys.
See you guys next week.
Later, everybody.